Hi guys, my name is Christy Doramus and I'm a floral designer based in New York City and founder of Crowns by Christy. We specialize in making fresh and faux flower crowns as well as floral arrangements, floral headbands, and table centerpieces. Today we're going to show you how to make your own fresh floral crown at home along with a few other fun floral arrangements. The first project I'll be making is a fresh floral crown, and I'll tell you what supplies you're going to need to do this project. First, of course, you'll need fresh seasonal flowers of your choice. Today I'm using some pinks, whites, and purples, but you can pick up any flowers that you'd like. I'm also using florist wire, garden shears or scissors, thick and pliable craft wire to use to make your headband, and also florist tape to finish off your crown. So let's get started, and before we do, I'm just going to show you guys the supplies I just mentioned. I'll just point them out here on the table. So first, your craft wire that you're using to make your headband, make sure it's nice and thick, and what you need to do is make a circle that fits around your head and twist the ends together so that when you put it on, it fits. So that's your craft wire, and that's ultimately your headband and the base of your flower crown. Second, you'll need florist wire, which you can find in a roll or on sticks. This you can find at a craft store or at your local hardware store. It comes in both ways. And today we'll actually use these sticks so I can show you easily how to make the flower crown. Florist tape, again, you can find this at a craft store, hardware store. Garden shears if you have them, and if you don't, scissors will be just fine. So to start, obviously you'll want to have a nice selection of flowers. And I like to go ahead and cut my flowers before I get started, and cut them about 1 to 2 inches, leaving 1 to 2 inches of stem for each. As you can see, you don't necessarily need to put the entire branch in there, so I like to cut them and make a nice little pile like I have here so that it's easy to just grab and go. So before starting, I would recommend cutting your flowers just to have them nice and accessible. And then to start, I like to take 1 to 2 flowers at a time, or pieces. Greenery is also great. And I'll go through which types of flowers I'm using today in a minute once I show you guys how to get started. So once you have your headband made and it fits around your head, you'll want to place the flowers against the headband and then secure them to the headband with your florist wire. So to do that, you'll wrap the florist wire to your headband 2 to 3 times around, making sure that it's secure but not too tight, because sometimes if it's a little too tight, it will rip the stem of the flower. So as you wish, add in your flowers 1 to 2 at a time, wrapping continuously 1 to 2 times around with your wire. And you can do that in any pattern that you wish. I like to mix little flowers and also more sizable flowers just to give some variety and to make sure that the weight is balanced. So here I'm adding in some baby's breath. And another thing to note is if you're working with florist wire sticks, you'll want to start a new piece when you're ready. So I also want to mention that I have Alexa here reading your comments and questions, so let us know if you have any comments throughout the process.
Hey guys!
Okay, so as we continue to make the flower crown and wrap the wire around, you will keep adding in your pieces, like I said, 1 to 2 at a time. And it's in any pattern that you like. There's no rhyme or reason, really just however you like it and whatever color pattern you're going for. And I love to use these. I'll quickly talk about the flowers that I'm using just so you guys know. Sometimes smaller flowers work better for flower crowns just because they are easy to maneuver and they're not so weighted on your head when you put it on. So I love to use baby's breath. These little roses are spray roses in the pinks that you see. The little purple flowers are called wax flowers. In greenery, we have some Italian ruscus. You can also use eucalyptus, which is great. And I think I mentioned all of the ones we have here, but if you have any questions about the flowers, do let us know and let Alexa know. So I'm going to continue adding and building my crown around, and the key here is to make sure you're going all in one direction and towards yourself. So as you add, here I'll give you a close-up, you can wrap around this way and just make sure you're going all in the same direction, and I promise once you put it on, the flowers will face out because it's a circle. I think that that's one of the main concerns, is that the flowers will not face to the front once you put it on, but if you're working around in the circle, placing them all in the same direction, it will not only be easy to add, but also once you put it on, they'll face all out.
We have viewers from all over the world. We have Denmark, we have Scotland, we have people from Texas, we have people from Hawaii, we have a lot of people from Texas. Hey,
wow,
Anita.
I love Texas. Hi, Texans.
And everybody's saying it looks really, really pretty, which it really does.
Thank you guys. And I think, you know, you can really just find, if you're a type of person who has a garden, you can build this with flowers that you have in your garden. You can pick them up at the deli, at the grocery store. You know, it's not a project that you need to spend a lot of money on. And it's also really fun to do with your friends. So if you're hosting a baby shower, bridal shower, birthday party, it's also something fun that you can do as an activity, or also as a gift if you want to give someone a birthday gift. Bachelorette parties are great too. So if you finish here, it's actually okay. This is what we call a half crown. So when you put it on, it will still face out and the flowers will be in the front. But today we're showing you how to complete it, which again, the steps are the same as you continue to go around the circle, and you'll just keep going until you've completed the entire circle and filled it with flowers.
Annette would like to know if you tie new wires to the previous ones.
Hi Annette, thanks for your question. We don't necessarily tie the wire, but what I'm doing is, here I'll show you, once you finish one piece of the wire, and I personally like to cut my wires into sticks that are about 10 inches long, so that it's not so overwhelming when you're working. But really, once you finish this wire, I just start with a new wire like this. So I'm not necessarily tying it, but I'm just wrapping it around again to secure before I start the next piece. So you can, build your crown with more flowers closer together if you want it to be really full. You can use bigger flowers if you want it to be more of a statement, or you can spread them out a little bit if you want a more boho look. And I love mixing in the different colors, but of course, depending on your color scheme, you can do it in whatever pattern that you like. It's sort of like a painting. You can add in the flowers in any pattern that you wish. So I'm coming towards the end here, still continuing to wrap each flower around 1 to 2 times as I add them, all moving in the same direction. And again, here's the end of the piece of wire, wrap it around a few times to secure before starting with the next piece. Also, you can also do this process with tape. Today I'm showing you with wire because I think for beginners, wire is always an easier way to learn. But if you would like to use tape, or if that's all that you have at your disposal, you can do this same step using the florist tape. I also like to use the tape at the end to just wrap around the wire to make sure that once the crown is on your head, it's not pulling your hair. So I'll show you guys how to do that in just a minute. Okay, so here we are almost at the end. And what I like to do is once you get close to the end is pull back the flowers from the beginning a little bit and work underneath them and then put them back in place so that there's no empty space. We'll make this our last. I'm gonna use this nice spray rose as our last piece. So pull back the flowers from the beginning, place your last flower in, wrap it around, and on this last piece, I'm just gonna cut the wire a little bit shorter because we don't need all of this excess. You can do that with your garden shears or your scissors. Wrap it around, and then since you've pulled this back, secure the last piece and then put it back in place. And there you have your fresh flower crown.
Nanita would like to know what kind of flowers you're using.
Hi, thanks for your question. I am using today some spray roses. So these white and pink flowers are spray roses. We are using for greenery Italian ruscus, which is this greenery right here. Some baby's breath, which is here. I'm sure you're all familiar with baby's breath. And for these little white flowers, you can see, I love these. They're called Monte Cassino asters. And these purple flowers, which also come in pretty white and pink, are called wax flowers, and they smell sort of minty. Those are the flowers that we're using today. And again, you can choose any flowers that you'd like, but if you're looking for something to be more of a statement, maybe you want to sprinkle in some larger flowers. And if you're looking to go for a more boho look, maybe you want to use flowers that are smaller, like the baby's breath.
These are so beautiful, Christy. I really cannot wait to see what you are making next.
Thank you. So for our next project, we're also making a floral headpiece, but instead this time it's on a headband. So the supplies that you'll need to make your floral headband are, one, a headband of course, and it can be as thick or as thin as you'd like, but I'd recommend a medium-sized headband. Again, you'll need your gardening shears and or scissors, a hot glue gun and glue sticks. Today we're making a faux flower headband, so you'll probably need 5 to 10 faux flowers, and those can be silk, polyester. You can find them also at craft stores. You'll also need ribbon and or tulle for accents, and feather accents if you wish. So today I'll show you, here's a regular black headband, but the easy and great thing about a headband is that you can completely change the look with ribbon. And we are using today this cream ribbon that I love. It's velvet and it's really nice texture. So if you want to go with a black headband, great. But if you're looking to match your hair color, maybe you'll want to use something that goes a little bit closer to your hair color. So today we'll make our headband with this ribbon, and all you want to do is completely wrap the headband with the ribbon by using your hot glue gun. So to do that, I place your hot glue on top here on the end, and then what I like to do is leave a little piece at the end so later you can secure it, and then from now on you can glue it from the back. So place a piece of glue and then wrap your ribbon around like this. And I like to do it really tight so there's no bubbles and in a diagonal motion. While I'm doing that, if you guys have any questions for Alexa, just let me know. And while you ask, I'll continue to wrap the ribbon around the headband to cover it completely.
Wow, we have people from Ontario and South Wales. We also have somebody from Cape Town, South Africa watching. Everybody saying these are beautiful. Again, we have people coming back and asking about the flowers. So maybe you want to talk about if they're real, how long these real flowers last, or if it's better to do it with something faux.
Okay, so for our first project, we actually used fresh flowers, but you can do the exact same, you can use those exact same steps I showed you with faux, fake, silk, or polyester flowers. For the second project, I'm actually going to show you how to use faux flowers, and these are also, as you can see, you know, sometimes they look just as real as the fresh flower. This pink flower is actually fake, and this one's real. So you can really create something beautiful with faux flowers as well. So again, you can make the flower crown with your faux or fresh flowers, and your headband, typically if you're using the hot glue, I would probably recommend using faux flowers, just considering that the lifespan of your fresh flowers is typically under 24 hours. So you have to keep in mind that if you're making a flower crown or a flower headband with fresh flowers, they're out of water. So you kind of ask yourself, how long do fresh flowers stay out of water? Well, not usually more than a day. So that's why we say it's kind of like Cinderella if you're making it with fresh flowers. But you can make something just as beautiful with faux flowers. So
hey, Christy, some people are wondering where they can find you on Instagram.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Crowns by Christy, right here on the screen. And we'd love to hear your comments, your questions. You guys can see the projects that we do. We're always coming up with new and exciting projects, whether it be a new themed headpiece, and we love taking a challenge. So if you have a challenge for us, we're happy to take it on.
Tony is letting us know that a lot of women in the Ukraine wear these a lot, and they're so beautiful.
I love that. Thank you, Tony. That makes me so happy.
And Justin brought up a really good point that they're really great to wear for a children's dress-up party, but they're beautiful enough for a wedding. Thank you, Justin.
That is so true, Justin. And the thing is that people have worn flower crowns for so many years for their wedding, but the great thing is that there's not just one occasion for them. You can wear them to a birthday party, baby shower, bridal shower, bachelorette party. You can give them as a gift. So there's not just one time or place for the flower crown anymore, and that's what I love. Okay, so we're getting there with our headband. And I'm almost done wrapping the entire piece, but again, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And as you can see up close, this is just really, we're wrapping it really tight and at a diagonal so that it's a very clean finish.
Kathy Pomposo is asking, is it really hard to do? So I guess maybe, you know, you've been doing this for a while. Do you think somebody could pick it up pretty quickly?
Hi Kathy, thank you so much for tuning in. And I get this question all the time. Is a flower crown hard to make? The answer is no. We teach classes all the time, and it's very rare that we have an instance in which someone is not able to pick up this skill. I think it's something that with practice over time you get better, but I think on the first time, if you give it a try, you'll be really surprised at the beautiful crown that you'll be able to make.
Kathy would also like to know how you got inspired to get into this.
Well, I've always loved flowers, Kathy. I hope you're a flower lover as well. And I really am inspired by our clients all the time, because typically when someone's ordering a piece from us, it's for a special occasion, and we love being part of everyone's wedding day or bridal shower, and it makes us so happy to see the joy that it brings to them on their special day. So I'm always inspired by that, and also the challenges that our clients bring us.
Danielle wants to know if it's an expensive project to do or if it's affordable and good for kids.
I would say that the flower crown is great for children. It's typically better for children 7 years and older. That's what we've seen. That's been the best age to sort of get them started and have them be able to do it on their own, and it can be really inexpensive. I said before, if you have a garden, you can use your flowers from your garden or from your local grocery store, and you can keep it really low cost because the supplies other than the flowers are very inexpensive. Of course, you want to be careful if you're using a hot glue gun around the children, but if you're helping them to wrap the headband or just avoiding wrapping the headband and helping them with the glue, I think it's a great project for children because they can help you pick out which flowers go where and help you design it.
Stephanie wants to know which one you prefer out of the two.
Hi Stephanie, I am a personal huge fan of the flower crown, but some people prefer a headband because they like the structure and they like to keep it over a long period of time, which is great about this project because I'm using faux flowers in a headband, and this is something that you can keep around for years. You can wear it with your Halloween costume and on your birthday and at your bridal shower. So it's got many uses, and I think it just really depends on the occasion. So to add your faux flowers, we're just going to also glue them on the headband. And today in the example, we're showing an asymmetrical look. So I'll show you how we're doing that. We'll just add flowers to one side of the headband, but again, you can add it to the front, wherever you'd like, depending on the theme. Maybe you have a themed party that you're going to and you want to customize the flowers accordingly. So we'll add each flower by place a little bit of glue on your headband and carefully place your flowers on, holding it down for about 5 seconds. And then in any pattern that you'd like, depending on the style you're going for, place the flowers one at a time and glue them down, holding it down for 5 or 6 seconds to make sure that it's secure.
Mary has a question about the crown. She wants to know what the base was.
Hi Mary, so the base that we used on the flower crown is really just, we used gold craft wire, and it doesn't necessarily need to be gold, but I recommend a thick and pliable craft wire so that it can really hold the weight of the flowers once you put it on your head. Sometimes you can use scissors to hold down the flowers while they're getting glued so you don't burn your hands. Scissors are like maybe a dowel rod, something that's not your finger. So as you continue to place your flowers, we are moving to the right in this case because we're making an asymmetrical look. You can also place some greenery at the bottom too if you'd like. Sometimes I like to use greenery to hide imperfections from the flowers. So if you don't want to see the stems from the actual roses, you can hide them with greenery, which is nice.
Chandra is saying that her granddaughter's having a butterflies and flowers themed birthday party, and she knows that these will be great for the little girls and she has to make them. Thank you, Chandra, for joining us.
Thank you, Chandra, for joining, and also I love the butterfly theme too because we also have done headpieces like this in which we include butterflies, which if you're buying faux or silk butterflies at a craft store, you can also glue them in and they're so cute. So you can do this craft for the party if you want to include flowers and butterflies. I think those would be so cute.
Sherry says she wants to do one for herself for the summer. Me too. I definitely am gonna try this. You make it seem super doable and manageable and really so beautiful.
Thank you. It's very easy as long as you avoid burning yourself with the hot glue gun, which, you know, it happens, but as long as you're careful, it's actually quite an easy project, and I really believe that you can do it easily at home. So I'll start coming towards the end here, just adding my final flowers. These larger ones I want to hold on for a little bit longer just to make sure that they stick.
Morgan is asking if these headbands and crowns hold up well at something like Coachella or a music festival where they've become growing, so popular.
The flower crowns are awesome for Coachella, and that's one of our most popular requests for music festivals. And what I would say is that considering the heat, you may want to go with faux flowers if you're looking to have something that's lasting more than a day. It's not impossible to make a fresh flower crown for Coachella, but considering that you're in the desert, it's a little bit hot, and if the flowers are outside of water for that long, then sometimes you'll get a little bit of wilting. If you're doing a music festival flower crown, I always love a baby's breath crown if you're going for fresh flowers, because it typically holds up a little bit longer than, say, a rose or something a little bit more delicate. But in general, I love a flower crown for a music festival, and it's easy to make yourself.
Cassie's wondering, how much does it cost to make these? She really wants to make them as party favors.
Hi Cassie, I love that idea. I love giving flower crowns to my friends as gifts, and it's also a fun activity at your own party. The cost is really up to you and really up to what kind of flowers you want to use and how elaborate you want your crowns to be. So on a real budget, you can make baby's breath crowns for as little as, say, $5, because considering all of your supplies, that you can, if your baby's breath is $5 and your supplies are another $7, you really can make a flower crown for under $10. And if you have flowers in your backyard, even probably less than that. But you can also make a flower crown that costs you $100 if you're picking flowers from a florist or from a deli that cost a little bit more. So the price totally ranges, but if you want to go for something that is more cost efficient, I'd say pick flowers from your own garden or from a neighbor's garden and make the flower crown with those. Okay, so we're finishing up the floral headband here, and I'm going to cover any imperfections with some greenery just to make sure that everything's hidden here. So on the side, and it's also a great way to reinforce the weight of the flowers. Okay. And then of course, once it dries, you'll want to pick off any pieces of glue. But there you have it. A faux flower headpiece. Here's the top and the side, and it looks even better once you put it on.
Awesome, Christy, thank you so much. We're gonna take a quick ad break and then we're gonna be right back.
Okay, see you guys soon.
And we're back. Thanks guys for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying it so far.
Here is your floral headband that we just made. Here's a close-up of how it looks. The top and the side. So these are made with faux flowers, and you can wear this for Halloween costume, for birthday party, bridal shower, and it's a fun activity to make with your friends.
And what are we making next?
So next we are going to make something that you can use for a table, whether you're throwing a small gathering or a big dinner party. We are going to show you how to make a fresh floral garland. So, the supplies that you'll need for the floral garland are garland foam, flowers in a color palette of your choice, gardening shears or scissors, and water to soak your garland foam in. So this is what we're calling garland foam. This you can buy online. If you can't find this exact piece, you can simply use wire and wire the flowers together, but this garland foam holds water, so it makes it easier for the flowers to stay hydrated when they're on the table. So we'll show you how to make a fresh floral garland with the garland foam, and you can use this as a centerpiece at your next party. You can make it really, really long and put it on a mantelpiece for the holiday, or you can put it on a bar cart. You can use it for anything you want, and the garland foam usually comes in a pretty long piece. This one I cut down a little bit smaller so you can see the entire thing. So I'm going to show you how to start, and we're going to add fresh flowers in pinks because I love pink. And all you want to do is, once this is soaked in water to hold the water, you want to, and you can also do this with faux flowers, by the way, with a garland foam that's not in water, but for fresh flowers, you'll want to put it in water just to make sure that the flowers stay hydrated. So each flower, all you're doing is sticking into the foam one by one until it's complete. And I like to mix in some greenery at the ends to make it a little bit longer on the sides. So we're just adding our flowers one by one here into the garland.
Roxy's wondering how long these crowns last. The crowns that you were making before.
The crowns, if you're making a fresh flower crown, it typically lasts up to 24 hours. And you'll want to keep it refrigerated if you're making it the night before, but keep in mind that the flowers are out of water, and it's just, the lifespan is really just as long as the lifespan of flowers out of water. So if you're looking for something that's lasting a few more days, you'll probably want to use some faux flowers, which the steps for either are the same as the steps that I showed you. You can do it either way, depending on how long you're looking for your flower crown to last.
Chase is wondering if you can use dried flowers to make these crowns.
You absolutely can use dried flowers, Chase. And if you're able to find great dried flowers, I think it's a great option. And an example of that are these pieces of eucalyptus that I'm adding. This is actually fresh eucalyptus, but it dries beautifully. So if you want to make your own eucalyptus crown or garland, you can dry it out and then use it, or make it and then allow it to dry out by hanging it up. So I'm just continuing to add flowers, greenery into my garland. You just build it piece by piece, however you'd like. Today I'm using a few different types of eucalyptus. If there's one flower I like most for garlands, it's eucalyptus, and it comes in different sizes and shapes. So this is silver dollar eucalyptus, and this is another type of eucalyptus you can add, and it smells amazing. I wish you could smell it through the screen. So you're adding in your flowers and your greenery piece by piece. And just building it up. And you can make this as thick and full as you want. You can make it with all greenery if you want. You can do all flowers. It really is up to you based upon the theme of your party. I love making garlands for holiday, for a tablescape. I think they're great as a garland on above your stockings or on your mantle. It's great for dinner party centerpiece. You can make it the full length of the table, which is always really beautiful. And this garland foam makes it so easy to just put your flowers in piece by piece. And again, you'll want to make sure that the garland foam is saturated if you're using fresh flowers, which you can always start with it dry and then also saturate it with water once you're done. You can spritz the flowers once you're done as well. But I would recommend placing it in a bucket of water before you start putting your flowers in, just to make sure that you have enough water to support the flowers at least for 24 hours.
We have a question coming in asking you, how often do you make these centerpieces?
We, as a company, make centerpieces all the time. We do custom event design during the week for corporate parties, birthday parties. So we're always coming up with new and innovative floral design elements. We love a garland, and it looks amazing down the center of a table. It looks so fun when you're including really bright colors. It also looks great when you're doing all greenery. So we make these all the time, but it really is always tailored based upon the theme of the party and the event, which is great because you can do that on your own. If you want all pink, you can do all pink. So it really just depends on the theme, but we're constantly making floral garlands, and they're so fun because you can really place them in so many different areas.
Christy, somebody's wondering how you got into this.
I started making flower crowns for friends and clients of mine. As a former publicist, I made them for my clients, and then once we started making flower crowns, people started asking about what other floral projects we did and really giving us challenges, and that's how we started branching out into floral garlands, floral walls, basically anything creative that you can think of with flowers. We've made mostly as a result of challenges from our clients, which has been so fun. The great thing about the headband is you can add accents like shells and make a mermaid crown, or you can add a horn and make a unicorn crown. So those types of things can be totally customizable based upon what you're looking to do. And that's sort of how we found ourselves doing so many different projects, is because we've been given the challenges to see where else we can take our creativity, which has been really fun.
Paul wants to know what your favorite part of doing this is.
Paul, I think really flowers make people so happy, and I say that every day, but don't they make you happy? Flowers make people so happy. They smell so nice, and there's nothing that makes me happier than working with flowers and having it be a big part of my day. And most importantly, what I love is to see people's reaction when they receive their flowers or their flower crown, and that's really what brings me the most joy. So we'll keep going as long as we can. So this, as you can see, has been just building up, adding some more greenery. It can be done like this if you'd like, but if you have a big table, maybe you want to put a piece of greenery here and make it wider if you're working with a centerpiece and you want to do a center table. Again, this is another type of eucalyptus. We love eucalyptus for garlands. And maybe I'll finish with a little bit of greenery on the edges. You don't really want any foam showing, so I'd recommend covering it all up, but if you're running out of flowers, bigger blooms, you can always use greenery to do the trick, but the bigger flowers always cover up a bigger surface area. So here's your flower garland. Use it as a centerpiece. Use it for the holidays if you're using red and green, and I hope you'll make one of your own at home.
Thank you so much, Christy. We're actually going to take another quick break and we will be right back. And we're back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. We have Christy here, and she's making all sorts of amazing flower attributes. We have crown, we have a headband. We just made an amazing centerpiece, and we're going to move right along into the next one. Go, Christy, let us know.
So the next project we're going to do is something that you can easily do at home with a footed bowl or even a wine glass if you don't have a footed bowl. It's something that I love to, it's a type of arrangement that I love to do because I say that it almost defies gravity in a way. It's not typically just putting your flowers into a vase and calling it a day. So today we're going to show you how to make a floral arrangement in a footed vase. So in order to do that, you'll need the following supplies: floral foam, a vase, or like I said, a wine glass if you want to make a smaller one for your bar cart, fresh flowers, shears or scissors. You'll need a knife to cut your floral foam, and water to hydrate your floral foam. So to get started, what you want to do is this is your florist foam. It usually comes in a block, and you'll want to cut it to be the size of your vase. And sometimes you need to cut it in pieces and sort of work it into your vase. And you can see how we did that here. You know, this is 2 different pieces that we've put together. And you can do this with faux flowers dry, but if you do fresh flowers, you'll just want to make sure that you saturate this foam so that it holds the flower water inside. And then if you're making the arrangement to keep at home for a few days, you just want to make sure to water it once a day, and then this foam will actually soak up the weight of the water, and then it will hold the water for your flowers. So to start, and you can see that the vase has a foot like this, which is also great for a table that doesn't have a lot of surface area. So if you're working on a small table, it doesn't take up as much room as a vase that maybe is this big around. So it has a smaller foot and a larger wide top. And like you did the garland, you can insert with this foam your flowers one by one. And what I like that this offers, that just putting your arrangements into water, what I like that this offers is you can really create some interesting height with your flowers so that it takes up, you can make this arrangement huge if you want and take up a huge surface area versus the flowers just sitting at the top of the vase. They can really spread out and have their own personality. So we'll add in a few big, small, different sizes. So some you want to put really close to the bottom, and then others you can leave really long and have them stand up very tall. I'll show you that with this rose. You can really have it stand up. It can be at an angle to the front. I like to take off the leaves a little bit when I'm making my flower arrangement. And when you're cutting the flowers, always just cut at an angle with your shears. Here, I'll show you a close-up. Just make sure you're cutting the flowers at an angle before you're putting them in. And again, you'll want to make sure that this foam is totally saturated if you're using fresh flowers, putting them in piece by piece. And I like to start in the middle and sort of work around, but it really is up to you and how you want it to look. The fun thing about the footed vase or the foam is that you can make the arrangement really asymmetrical if you want. So you can have some of the flowers, you know, to one side. I like having some really tall, some leaning towards the sides. So just place them in, go around and build up, and then finish in the center.
Christy, I love the polka dot paper. It's
Thank you.
very cute. Somebody's wondering where you got it.
So this paper is actually from a great site called Floral, and they not only sell paper like this, but they also sell faux flowers and dried flowers. So it's a great resource if you're looking to do any of these projects on your own.
What's your favorite flower to use in these types of projects? Does it depend on if it's a crown or a garment piece?
It absolutely depends on what you're doing. So in an arrangement during peony season, I love peonies, as most people do. I love roses, but typically they're a little too big for a flower crown because of the weight and the size, and also because they're a little bit temperamental and they need water. So if you're working with a flower crown, I'd recommend smaller flowers. I love baby's breath, spray roses, eucalyptus, small ranunculus are great. But in an arrangement, sometimes you want your bigger blooms that don't necessarily work in crowns. So it depends on what project you're doing. Because if you're wearing your crown for a long period of time, you're obviously going to want it to stay together and not wilt. So it's always good.
Where are the best places to buy flowers?
Well, I know that you guys are tuning in from all over the world, so it's a difficult thing to address, but on a global level. But in New York, I love to buy them at the flower market in the flower district, which is so fun because not only is it available here in New York, but they ship flowers from all over the world. So from the Dutch flowers, the California flowers, things from all over the place. So really, I think it's amazing that you guys are from all over the world, because I'm sure in every part of where you're from, there is your own flower market or your own, whether it be a farmer that you get your flowers from, or even if it's a grocery store or a deli. I really think that you can find beautiful flowers anywhere. Sometimes I even pick them up at the grocery store on the way home. So, or if you're lucky enough, in your own backyard.
These flowers are so beautiful and it's coming together so nicely.
Thank you.
Getting a lot of really great positive comments saying how beautiful it is, how they would make great attributes for weddings or tables. Just really loving what you're doing.
Thank you. I love this project because it shows you an easy way to make a centerpiece if you are doing wedding florals, or maybe you're doing your wedding florals on a budget, and this is the way that you can do it yourself. And if you make this the night before and make sure that you have enough water inside of the foam and then re-water, it's fine for the next day. And if you're having a dinner party, you can really do the flowers yourself, which is so fun. So now that I have lots of greenery, I'm going to go in and make sure that we have plenty of color. And the thing about an arrangement is that sometimes if you can keep going forever. You know, if you're a perfectionist, it will never be complete, and you can keep adding and adding and adding. But eventually we'll have to stop. So again, with the foam, I love the fact that you can use a really long stem and sort of defy gravity in a way, as I like to say, because in a regular bowl or a regular vase, you might not necessarily be able to have the flower standing out at an angle or standing up really high. So this allows you to do that in a way that makes your arrangement seem very interesting and architectural.
Jenny is wondering if you have a Facebook page for your floral arrangements.
Hi Jenny, thanks for tuning in. I do have a Facebook page. It is Crowns by Christy, and in addition to our flower crowns, we feature all of the fun floral projects and events that we're working on. So I hope that we can connect there. Okay, so the great thing about having this footed vase in front of you is that as you go, you can kind of rotate it around to make sure that you're covering all the way around, because who wants a flower arrangement that's only complete on one side? So I like this nice round vase, so you can sort of rotate it around as you go and make sure that you're covering each side. Again, cut your stems at an angle. When you place it in, you can put it in an angle or have it be a little bit taller. And then as you go, sort of rotate it around to make sure that you're covering all sides.
We have Donna tuning in, telling us that she loves lilies and sunflowers.
I love lilies and sunflowers. Those would be beautiful in either an arrangement, a garland, and how amazing do lilies smell. Sunflowers are also really beautiful, and now in season in New York, which is so fun to see. They're so bright and cheerful.
So for people tuning in, do you maybe want to tell us what you're working on right now?
Sure. So we've made flower crowns today, and we've also made a floral headpiece, both with fresh and faux flowers. We made a floral garland, which is great for a centerpiece for a party or for holiday time. And then now we're making a footed vase arrangement. As you can see, the bottom of the vase is a little bit smaller than the top, so it allows us to really cover a lot of ground without taking up a lot of space on the table from the bottom. And we are using floral foam in the arrangement to allow our flowers to really stand up and out in a very architectural way that maybe a typical vase might not allow you to do.
And Christy, I have to say you're doing such a great job of showing everybody how it's really manageable and easy to do to make it look so beautiful.
It's not only manageable, but I have to say it's quite relaxing. And to do this on a Sunday is a pretty fun activity. If you're going to the deli or next time you go to the grocery store, pick up some flowers and have it be your Sunday activity and enjoy it for the rest of the week. That's one of my favorite things to do. So we're just finishing up our arrangement here, and you could add and add and add forever and keep it going, but eventually we'll have a stopping point. I like to do some greenery and small flowers around the base just to make sure that you've covered the foam that you're working with. So we'll add in this eucalyptus, which also gives some cool texture. And I love mixing the texture. So again, these are different types of eucalyptus that we use to create some interest with different textures. We use some spray roses in here, some regular size roses, garden roses. So all types of flowers, lots of pink, but again, you can make this in any color scheme that you like. We'll add this for a little bit of height here, and then maybe one more piece. And you can make this really go wide if you want to cover up a lot of space on the table. The great thing about the foam is that you can just stick it, even the flowers can even be inserted sideways, which also elongates your arrangement and makes it cover even more part of your table. You can make it also really high and put your flowers in at the top.
Kelly is wondering if you have any tricks or ways to try and preserve the flowers.
Well, there are ways to dry out your flowers. I personally like to hang them upside down, especially the flower crowns when you're trying to preserve them. If you hang them on a hook or on a doorknob, they really will dry out quite nicely, especially if you're using a eucalyptus or a baby's breath. Not all flowers dry the same, but eucalyptus is amazing for drying out, and you can make a flower crown or a flower arrangement or even a garland out of eucalyptus and it will dry beautifully. So here is your finished arrangements. As you can see, there is lots of pink. It's in a footed bowl. If you want to do this on a smaller scale and put it on your bar cart, do it in a wine glass and put the foam inside the top. You can do it with anything that you have inside of your home. With the foam, it will allow you to really create height, size, and interest, and then you have a beautiful flower arrangement for your next party. And thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Christy Doramus, and you can find me on Instagram at Crowns by Christy or online at www.crownsbychristy.com. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and thanks for having me.